You made it this far, after everything, after so much. And yet, there's a voice inside you that says it's not enough, that you should be doing more, that resting is a waste of time, that you can't stop now. I need to tell you something today, something that maybe no one has ever told you this clearly. You're going to make it. But the way you're going, you might not arrive in one piece. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear in the next few minutes may be the most important conversation you have with yourself this week. There's a kind of suffering no one talks about. It's not the suffering of someone who gives up. It's not the suffering of someone who doesn't try. It's the suffering of someone who tries too hard. Someone who wakes up early, goes to bed late, gives up rest, ignores the body, swallows their emotions, and keeps pushing, always pushing. This suffering has a name. We call it dedication. We call it strength. We call it grit. But do you know what it really is? It's a war. A silent war you wage against yourself every single day. And the problem with that war is that there's no winner. Because when you fight against yourself, every outcome hurts. Do you know someone like that? Or are you that person? Think about it with me. Have you ever felt guilty for resting? Have you delayed sleep because there was one more thing to do? Have you ignored physical pain because you didn't have time to stop? Have you criticized yourself for not progressing fast enough? If the answer is yes to any of those questions, this video is for you. Now let me show you what all that harshness is actually costing you. When you don't sleep well, your brain literally cannot consolidate memories, make good decisions, or regulate your emotions. It's not laziness, it's biology. A sleep-deprived brain makes worse decisions than a mildly intoxicated one. That's science, not opinion. When you don't drink enough water, every cell in your body operates below capacity. Your heart works harder, your kidneys work harder, your mind turns foggy, and you blame it all on stress, on age, on tiredness, when in reality your body is crying out for help in the simplest way possible. And when you're too hard on yourself, when your inner voice is more critical than any boss or enemy you've ever had, your nervous system enters a state of constant high alert. Cortisol rises, inflammation increases, joy disappears, and what was once a purposeful walk begins to feel like an endless forced march. You're not being strong, you're being cruel to the one person who will never leave you, yourself. But here's what most people don't understand. Taking care of yourself is not the opposite of success. It is the path to it. Let me tell you something I learned by watching people who truly went far. Not the ones who ran the fastest, but the ones who arrived whole, with energy, with joy, with health. Those people had one secret in common. They understood that rest is not a reward for work completed. Rest is part of the work. It's where the mind processes. It's where the body rebuilds. It's where wisdom shows up, not in the middle of noise and rushing, but in the quiet of a good night's sleep. A wise farmer knows the land needs to rest between harvests. If you keep planting without letting the soil recover, within a few cycles the land stops producing, not because the land is weak, but because it was pushed beyond what it could give. You are no different from the land. Now I want to tell you a story. Imagine a sensei, a master, a 70-year-old man with calloused hands and calm eyes who spent decades teaching young warriors. One day, one of his most dedicated students came to him completely exhausted. The young man could barely stand, but he insisted on training. He insisted on continuing. He beat his chest and said, "Master, I cannot stop. I have to be the best." The master looked at him for a long moment. Then he walked to the corner of the room, picked up a bow and an arrow, and drew the bow to its maximum, beyond its maximum, until everyone in the room held their breath, certain the string was about to snap. Then he slowly released the tension and said, "A bow that never rests never shoots far. A string kept taut forever loses its strength, and the warrior who never rests will one day no longer be able to fight." Then he added, looking the student in the eyes, "Resting is not abandoning the battle. It is preparing to win it." Did you hear that? Resting is not abandoning the battle. It is preparing to win it. How many of us spent years believing the opposite? That resting was weakness, that asking for help was a sign of failure, that feeling tired was something to be hidden, masked, overcome by sheer force. But here is the shift that changes everything. The kindness you show others, your children, your friends, people you don't even know, that same kindness you deserve to give to yourself. Think about how you would treat a dear friend who came to you completely drained. Would you say, "Stop complaining and keep going"? Would you say, "You're not doing enough"? No. You would sit beside them. You would listen. You would say, "Go rest. Take care of yourself. You matter." So why won't you say that to yourself? Now let's talk about what you can do differently starting today. Simple things, real things, things that work. The first is sleep. Don't negotiate with it. Sleep is not a luxury. It's maintenance. For your brain to function, for your mood to be stable, for your body to recover, you need to sleep. Try going to bed at the same time every night. Turn off screens at least 30 minutes before sleeping. Keep your room dark and cool. These small adjustments have an enormous impact on the quality of your rest. The second is water. It sounds too simple to matter, but that's exactly why most people ignore it. Start your day with a large glass of water before anything else. Keep a bottle nearby throughout the day. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. By the time thirst appears, your body is already dehydrated. Water is the cheapest and most powerful fuel there is. The third is the voice that speaks inside you. That voice that criticizes, that compares, that is never satisfied. Start to notice it, not to silence it by force, but to question it. When it says you're not enough, Ask yourself, is that actually true, or is that just fear talking? And then replace it, not with hollow positive affirmations you don't believe, but with gentle truths. I am doing what I can with what I have, and that is enough for today. Because here is what I want you to take away from this video. You are going to make it. I truly believe that. But the hardest path isn't the strongest one. The path that brings you whole to your destination. That is the courageous path. Taking care of your sleep isn't laziness. It's strategy. Drinking water isn't a small thing. It's respect for your body. Being kind to yourself isn't weakness. It's the foundation of everything. No one flourishes while at war with themselves. Flowers don't grow on pavement. They need good soil, water, light, and room to breathe. So do you. Go at your own pace. Your pace is valid. Your journey is yours. And it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. But above all, don't give up on yourself, because you made it here after everything, after so much, and you're still standing. That alone is an extraordinary victory. If this video touched something in you, if it made you think of someone who needs to hear this, or if it made you see yourself with just a little more kindness, then it did its job. Leave a comment below. Tell me, what's the hardest thing for you to do for yourself? Rest, drink water, or treat yourself with gentleness? Subscribe to the channel. Every week there's a new video made especially for people who still believe that growth has no age limit. And share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Sometimes the right message arrives through the right person. See you in the next one. Take care of yourself.